On the latest episode of Farmer Wants a Wife, I guess Farmer Nathan and Taylor from last season already left the camping trip? I figured they'd be in 2 episodes, give more advice to the cast, like Mitchell and Sydney did at the barn dance, but Taylor didn't even make it into the previously on.
Previously on Farmer Wants a Wife, last season's Farmer Nathan shared some key advice.
I'm Lizzie Frizzle. Let's talk about TV.
Yes, ma'am.
With the end of filming in sight, it's the time of a Farmer Wants a Wife season for reeds blowing in the wind and the farmer's final solo dates. As such, episode 8 is uncreatively but informatively called The Last Solo Dates. While the lucky few women head out, the rest of the contestants stay behind to clean up the campsite we arrived at last episode. Reason number a million why I think the show has a smaller budget this season. The cast is striking the set. And reason number 1,000,001 is that these solo dates are all happening at the same ranch they've been camping at. So the biggest things differentiating them from one-on-one talks the farmers had with women on the first night of the trip are title cards telling us it's a date and a prop to do an activity with. To prep the farmers for these important final outings, host Kim Williams-Paisley makes painful small talk with them about the show's format.
Getting real. 3 ladies left.
That's for sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and soon to be 2.
Yeah.
Next, Kim checks in with one of the women. Juliana is considering quitting after not getting picked for a date. But just a few hours earlier, when the camping trip started, Juliana felt a lot differently about John spending time with the other women.
If you're meant to be with that guy, you will be with that guy, so time does not matter. So I'm like, if that's my husband, he can have all of these women, and for as long as he wants, and he will still choose me.
Kim suggests that Juliana wait to quit because she might still be able to back into being a finalist if John's date with Claire doesn't go well. But it does. Earlier on the ranch, John taught Claire how to rope a steer, but her technique surpassed his after a single try. It made sense last season when Farmer Ty led his contestants in a roping demo, because that was his whole thing besides leading Megan on. Politely correct me if I'm wrong, but did John even do a legal roping move? Has he ever talked about being a team roper? Does his family own cattle? Why did production assign him this date? Even Claire seems confused by it.
What's the end goal of this?
Just get a workout. Have some fun.
Later, after they've had fun and worked out, John and Claire head to the bleachers for nondescript bottled drinks and their first ever serious talk.
We just haven't really done that before.
But by the time the editors compress their conversation into a short scene, their chat actually ends up being pretty surface level. The 3 most important things to John are faith, family, and work, in that order. Claire's not religious and wasn't raised to be like him, but they both grew up to be nice people, so they're both okay with each other's backgrounds.
That makes me excited.
Next, they talk about ideal spouses. Claire just wants someone who cares about her after what sounds like a rough past relationship. For his future wife, John wants
Somebody, 1, who's willing to be a mom. And then 2, somebody who's willing to let me be a man.
anything about her personality or worldview.
I'm very traditional.
Got it. At the end of the date, John and Claire admit they like each other.
I do like you. We'll be honest, so.
Good, you should be. Back in Missouri, they share a kiss, or several, goodnight. To camera, John describes his date with Claire as a blast, partly because of how funny she is, which is what he calls her nearly every time he talks about her. I guess I remember one time she made a joke.
Are you mad that you haven't had like a one-on-one date yet?
Furious.
Really?
Yeah.
I can tell. You're like, your eyes are on fire.
I know, I was gonna like egg you.
But mostly, I think John Might have being funny confused with laughing a lot.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Are you okay?
No.
Back at the ranch, at the same pond where Kim Williams-Paisley filmed the episode's intro, Farmer Jay takes Rissa fishing. After, when it's talking time, Jay asks Rissa if family is important to her, even though he should already know the answer.
Definitely big on family. Family's all we have, you know, when it comes down to it.
Hey, we all we got.
A child of divorce, it's important to Rissa that her first marriage lasts, but if it does, it won't be with Jay. He eliminates her because her love of travel conflicts with his homebody lifestyle that farming requires. Elsewhere, farmer Matt and Chelsea do an activity dating shows refuse to move on from: throwing axes. Or in Chelsea's case, throwing axe, because we only see her do it once. Using her all-state softball skills, she's able to connect with the target, which is very cool, but it'd be even very cooler if the edit included more than 40 seconds of this part of their date. We only see Matt throw twice. During part 2, under a tree so perfect for sitting it'd turn Rory Gilmore into a territorial maniac.
Excuse me, you're sitting under my tree.
What?
Chelsea tells Matt that she hasn't dated in a while because her last relationship ended when her ex wasn't as invested as she was. Matt relates, and they decide that even if no one else understands them, they get each other. I wish we understood why no one understands them, but the editors were right to give all that screen time to someone who quit before the halfway point. Later, Matt and Chelsea sneak into some familiar bleachers to escape the cameras just long enough to steal a few kisses. And a rope. Chelsea pretends to be surprised that Matt is into her.
He made a move on someone. I didn't think it was gonna be me. Hell, definitely not me. I think he's liked me from the beginning. I just had that intuition.
By kissing Chelsea, has Matt inadvertently spoiled his ending?
I don't want to go around kissing a bunch of girls. I just want to hold back and then figure out which girl's the right one, then I'm all hers.
On Farmer Colton's date, he toes the line between giving a boost and copping a feel when he and Keely herd cattle during an intimate horse ride, alongside several ranch employees. Keely wonders if she'd fit into the farming lifestyle, but Colton assures her that she would because,
Honestly, you look so pretty.
Later, they sit on a hay bale sofa so Keely can tell Colton and the cameras about her PCOS diagnosis.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome? PCOS? The things that you face are weight gain, cysts on your ovaries, insulin resistance, and infertility.
The rest of their conversation is exclusively about the potential infertility, which Colton is understanding of and undeterred by, especially since he's already a dad. Feeling closer to Keely than ever now that he knows her medical history, Colton kisses her underneath the sunset. But at least she's looking at him when he initiates it.
Did you see that fish jump over there? Right over there.
No.
The next day, everyone returns to their respective farms. In Missouri, John notices Juliana sitting outside by herself, trying to cheat on her Sudoku by asking his dogs for answers. When John joins her, she explains that with so little time, they won't be able to establish a romantic connection, especially not one that rivals his relationships with the other women. And that's theoretically true, but John's come off pretty aloof basically all season with a few notable exceptions, so Juliana might not have been as far behind as she thought. Either way, she quits the show as quickly as she joined it, and John accepts her resignation even quicker.
Adios, Juliana.
Suddenly, for the first time all season, there's no one in the cast with the name Julie inside their name. Though we never actually see Juliana drive away, so she could still be sitting in John's front yard trying to finish her Sudoku. If this new casting call actually materializes into a fourth season, then I hope the show doesn't do this twist again, especially if the fourth season would also be this short. Adding new contestants in episode 6 of 11 is just cruel to both the contestants and the audience, because on a series like this that puts so little effort into highlighting its huge cast, it takes me about 6 weeks just to learn everyone's name. On the other farms, it's time for the bare minimum amount of farm work to be featured for it to still be considered part of the episode. In Alabama, Grace and Karina feed goats. Farmer Matt and his contestants in California harvest finger limes while he shares his in-depth thoughts about the remaining women. He thinks it took a while for him to build a bond with Chelsea. He's still wondering if Haley is his wife or his friend, and he likes Jordan's outfit.
You know, it's the best one I got.
In Arkansas, Farmer Colton's contestants help him till his arena. Not an innuendo, as he teaches them how to drive a big piece of farming equipment, one of the cornerstones of this show, along with playing dress-up and viewing women primarily as vessels for giving birth. And just so we're all clear, that was unedited footage from the season premiere of the editors juxtaposing the women with livestock. Like Matt, Colton cycles through his vast thoughts about each contestant. Zoe is adventurous, evidenced by her willingness to do a sketchy trust fall. Keely is full of surprises, and Bailey is fun to be around. But by the end of the day, Colton might have different thoughts about Bailey. Because like last episode, she comes to him for reassurance about their fading connection as he continues to invest more time into the other women. Colton says he wants to ease her doubts.
And I want to reassure that, I was happy that she was here.
Doesn't do that.
I'm going back and forth between y'all a whole bunch in my head, and I have a lot of stuff I need to think about.
Yeah.
Then asks to table the conversation until that night, when the two farmers who haven't eliminated anyone yet, Colton and Matt, get letters from a PA posing as Kim Williams Paisley, reminding them to do so because there's only enough money for them to meet 2 of their contestants' families. Reason number 1,000,002 why I think the show has a smaller budget this season. There are no hometown visits and no farmers' family dinner. The women's families and the farmers' families are just coming to the farms all at the same time. While Colton and Matt mull who to eliminate, John and Jay get to relax because they've both already picked their finalists. Whether by choice or by default, Jay has a drink with Grace and Karina, but I'd be too anxious about the potential for falling mason jars to enjoy the cozy lighting. The Rissa arc made Grace realize how much she likes Jay, and it led Karina to the same realization, but she also adds that
I do think that I'm trying to protect myself in the same breath.
Potentially setting up why she's going to lose in the end. In Missouri, John pulls Lily for a one-on-one talk since she never got a solo date even though she's one of his finalists. We learned that, unlike Claire, Lily is religious like John.
That makes me excited.
John explains to Lily that he wants his wife to better him and let him do the same for her. What are the odds that, in John's mind, he makes his wife a better person by introducing her to his religion, and she makes him a better person by letting him be a man? To camera, John says his connection with Lily is natural because they think alike, but whether he wants a partner similar or different to him changes depending on who he's with.
I like people who are different from me. It's like boring if you're just like an echo chamber of the same thought.
I agree. Lily and I, we look at the world kind of in a very similar fashion. It just kind of feels natural. I have 2 girls that could possibly be the love of my life right now.
He said enthusiastically. In California, at the first elimination dinner, Jordan and Chelsea excuse themselves to get more wine, even though everyone already has full glasses, so Haley can talk to Matt privately.
Yeah, I just know that this process has been so crazy, and I feel like you and I are good at actually expressing how we feel to each other.
So when did all this expressing feelings happen? Was it when Haley snuck out of the house? Because until Matt caught her eating finger limes on the job earlier.
What's going on with that?
I was eating them the whole time.
You're gonna get fired.
We hadn't seen them talk one-on-one in weeks. And we won't see them talk one-on-one ever again because Matt eliminates her for a lack of a romantic connection. Haley cries because she's proud of herself for trying. Then she leaves. Matt's final 2 are Chelsea and Jordan. Because most of Matt's storyline has been about his inability to make decisions, I have to wonder if he just picked the first 2 women he met. In Arkansas, Bailey continues her conversation with Colton, but he's got nothing new to add. Since he refuses to choose her even a little bit, Bailey chooses herself a lot and quits the show. Colton understands why she's upset and says he's sad that she's going, but he doesn't try to stop her because now he doesn't have to eliminate anyone. Who will be Colton's unlucky winner, Keely or Zoe? And will Jordan get a big head once she realizes she's the only contestant left whose name doesn't end in a vowel? Find out next week on another Farmer Wants a Wife recap. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, if you're so inclined, please like and subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about the next video. Thanks again and see you then. Bye!